Hello everyone, on this episode I'm going to be talking about the anime show Hellsing. This is a really good horror anime show. I really enjoyed it. The show is basically about this organization called Hellsing, which is sworn to protect Great Britain from vampires and other supernatural monsters and stuff. And it's a really cool show. I really enjoyed it. It's got a lot of good characters. I guess the main character is a vampire called Alucard, who is actually Dracula. I know that might kind of seem like a spoiler, but it's pretty obvious. And I was such a dumbass when I was watching the show because I just, like, a day ago realized, oh, wait a minute. Alucard. Dracula, you fucking idiot! So I was like, oh my god, because Alucard is Dracula spelled backwards. Somehow it dawned on me the other day. I was like, oh my god, you fucking idiot. Because I finished up this series like 2 weeks ago and it never dawned on me. Like I was always like, what the hell is Alucard? That's kind of a weird name. Yeah, that's probably some old-fashioned name from some mythology or whatever. But no, it's Dracula spelled backwards. But, yeah, Alucard is really cool. The voice actor that does him is Crispin Freeman, and he does a really cool voice for Alucard, so that's pretty badass. Alucard carries these two big-ass, badass pistols and stuff, so yeah, he's pretty cool. The other characters are pretty good too, like Sir Integra Helsing, who's like the great-great-great-granddaughter of Abraham Van Helsing. You know, the guy who in Bram Stoker's Dracula helps defeat Dracula. So that, in this universe, was Abraham Van Helsing was a real dude who started the Hellsing organization. So, yeah, but Integra Helsing, she's a pretty cool chick. The chick who does her voice is Victoria Harwood, and she does a nice... I don't know, kind of like almost more of a gentlemanly British girl than a ladylike character. But, yeah, Integra's pretty cool. She's very tough, very tough. And another character, Saris Victoria, who's a cop who's almost killed by a vampire. And Alucard makes her a vampire to save her life. And she's kind of nice and sweet and stuff. But slowly becomes more of a vampire over time, so she starts to get a little more brutal and stuff. But she's still a nice girl. Another character is Walter, who's Integra's butler. He's kind of a cool guy. And another cool thing about the show is there's this kind of Protestant England versus Catholic Europe, so that's kind of cool. And the Catholics have their own vampire hunters, like a character named Alexander Anderson, he's pretty cool. He's got like a, I don't know, Scottish accent and stuff. Yeah, he's pretty cool. And later on in the series, there are the Valentine brothers, Luke and Jan. And the guy who does Jan's voice, I really liked. That was, Jan Valentine was a really interesting character. Yeah, and the guy, I guess his name's Josh Phillips, does a really good performance as Jan Valentine. So it's a really cool show. The artwork is cool, kind of old school, gritty anime. The series came out in 2001 and I think ended in early 2002, so it's a pretty old series. But yeah, pretty cool action, very cool characters, very good voice acting, interesting story. The ending of the series isn't really all that fulfilling for me. But I guess that's why they came out with Hellsing Ultimate, which is a series of 10 OVAs. Basically, an OVA is kind of an episode or a movie that's released on its own, is basically what an OVA is. So they released 10 OVAs one at a time, released like 4 years after the original Hellsing series. So those are pretty cool, and they're a lot closer to the manga, I hear tell. Like, the original Hellsing series kind of veered off into its own thing, so maybe that wasn't really as conclusive for me. Like, there were still a lot of holes and questions and stuff by the time it ended. But yeah, Hellsing Ultimate is kind of interesting because the first two OVAs basically deal with everything that happened in the original Hellsing series, so that's kind of interesting. And then it just goes off on its own thing. I guess sticking close to the manga, so that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I'll talk about Hellsing Ultimate next. But yeah, I would definitely recommend you watch the original Hellsing series and then go from there to Hellsing Ultimate, and you'll definitely enjoy it. And I think the original Hellsing actually makes the OVAs better because they kind of sacrifice a lot of character development in Hellsing Ultimate that they had in the original Hellsing series. So definitely check out Hellsing and then go and check out Hellsing Ultimate.